What's up guys, my name is Jacob5 and welcome to something different on the channel today. We are covering the topic of what's gone wrong at Chelsea FC. It's probably on the minds of most Chelsea fans in fairness, because what has gone wrong? And we're going to cover all things of aspects of the whole kind of ownership under the clown that is Todd Boehly. Before we do get into this video, if you hadn't done so already, please hit that like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. I know I stress it every video, but if you did all those sort of things, I wouldn't have to mention it. Over 80% of you are unsubscribed to the channel, so hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and it really does push this channel to be able to kind of put on more videos and being able to kind of produce the best content I possibly can. We're going to start looking at the seasons and then dive into financial stuff and what I truly believe and so on. Obviously, when Boehly took over, Tuchel was still in reign. He just had a season previously where he won a Super Cup and a Club World Cup, two finals in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, losing out to penalties. So didn't have a bad season prior to that, realistically, under the sanction sort of rules. Going into the next season, Thomas Tuchel was sacked within 5 or 6 games, I'm pretty sure it was at the time. And then came this clown, Graham Potter. We've won 11 games in a whole reign, drew 11 out of 38, lost 16 out of 38, only scored 38 goals and conceded 47, which was embarrassing in fairness. And this was just in the league. Bearing in mind, in all competitions, we completely flopped. Obviously, got knocked out in the first round that we went into in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and in the quarterfinals, we were in charge by Frank Lampard at that point in time when Graham Potter had been sacked, and then we got knocked out by Real Madrid. Finished 12th this season, so we had a very poor season, a very underwhelming season, shall we say. A lot of things went wrong, shall we say. In that point in time, we kind of made a fair few signings in terms like Sterling, flop, Koulibaly, flop. Big names, big money, but not any big performances, and that's the thing that we lacked in that particular season. Majority of it was injured at the same time, and it didn't work out for every party that was involved at that moment. I don't think we could ever really take one positive away from that particular season whatsoever, and could be potentially one of the worst seasons that I've ever seen as a Chelsea fan. Definitely, that's for sure. I know we've had some underwhelming seasons over the years when we've gone on to win the league, and then we've obviously kind of dropped off the season after, but yeah, this was definitely the pinnacle of the kind of being very poor, that was for sure. So, as I mentioned, Graham Potter was out the door, Frank Lampard was a temporary manager, and then it was just a case of what goes on for next season. And with that said, we employed Mauricio Pochettino. We made big signings also with it. Obviously, Moises Caicedo coming in, Cole Palmer coming in, some big names at the time. Axel Disasi, Robert Sanchez to be a new goalkeeper, Malo Gusto. There was a lot of signings being made at this point in time, where obviously it was going through the point where, okay, we've had a poor season last season. We've hired a new manager. We spent some more money. Nicholas Jackson as a new striker also. Things could be on the up, and that wasn't the case. There was improvement. I'll give them that. There was improvement, but nothing significant into our league form whatsoever. In terms of the FA Cup, we reached the semi-final. In terms of the Carabao Cup, we reached the final. So in terms of them sort of competitions, it wasn't too bad. Didn't have a European competition to worry about in that particular season. In the actual league, we won 18 out of the 38, drew 9, lost 11, scoring 77 goals but conceding 66. So we conceded much more compared to the last season, but we also scored much more compared to the last season. Pochettino went on a big run. I think he went 8 games unbeaten near to the end of the season, and that was it. They just didn't like what was happening. Pochettino struggled with injuries. Pochettino struggled to be able to kind of get the kind of team going, in fairness, and everyone questioned at the time whether he was the right man for the job. And it was clear to see that he kind of was and he wasn't. I feel like his end to the season was really good, but his start to the season was really poor, and that's what kind of shed over the fact. And I think because he spoke the truth, Blue Co didn't like that, and that's the problem that we have as a club at this moment in time. I think the ones like Tuchel, the ones like Pochettino, the ones that have spoken the truth, the ones that have been honest, are the ones that have been shot down in flames. And I think they want a yes man, and that's quite clear to see, and they've got that in Enzo Maresca. So far this season, we've played 24 games in the league. We've won 12. We've drawn 7 out of the 24, and we've currently lost 5. I'm pretty sure that's actually wrong. I think we've actually lost 6. Bear with me. Yeah, we've lost six. My mistake. Obviously, we lost to Brighton on Friday. We're not going to go into that. We've scored 47 goals, so we're not far off of how many goals we scored off of that season, and we've conceded 31. So by the time we get near to the end of the season, it could be pretty much on par in terms of that regard. Um, the argument that I have at this moment in time, are we any different from Pochettino to Enzo Maresca? And my answer is no. I don't think we're any different. I don't think we play different football. I don't think we're in a different position. I just think we've peaked early and we're just going to drop off. So in fairness, we're just going to end up in the same position. Chelsea finished sixth last season, meaning that we gained European competitions in the European Conference League this time round, which we are currently in the round of 16, waiting to face an opponent upon the draw. I think in some ways with the signings that we've made and the money that's been spent, I feel obviously there has been improvement as time's gone on in fairness to the board, but what we've seen on the pitch, that hasn't been the case. And that's the slight worrying factor to it in fairness, and that's the confusing factor to why we've been so poor, because this season obviously we've signed Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho on loan, then we signed João Felix, we've loaned him out. There's a lot of aspects. Obviously, Trevor Chalobah got loaned out, then we brought him back, and then we've loaned out Ben Chilwell. That's been kind of an exodus to the squad. A lot of things. Obviously, we bring in a new keeper, Philip Jorgensen, but then he didn't play, and then it's just an utter mess. And I think that is the crux of it. Looking at your screen now, Abramovich versus Bowley, and this is what makes you laugh, and this is what makes Bowley and Clearlake and Bahada Agbali and just everyone that's involved from top to bottom, from having Marina in charge for Bruce Buck and so on, to now having a load of people and everything that's in charge that has been part of Brighton and so on. And we've spent so much money and given so much money towards Brighton, and they're probably on the same level of us, if not better. Because that's proved it over the past two games that we've played against them, because they've absolutely trounced us. Absolutely trounced us. Abramovich spent 2.34 billion in his whole time at Chelsea. Bowley has been in charge for 3 years and he spent 1.32 billion. Just let that sink in, because when I looked at that stat, I actually thought that was unbelievable. Money earned, 1.3 billion for Abramovich and 0.45 billion for Bowley. Net spend is pretty good in fairness for Bowley's side of things, 0.87 compared to Abramovich's 1.01, bearing in mind he was at the club for a long time. But as you can see at the bottom, the stat that counts, 14 major trophies won for Abramovich, 0 won for Bowley. And he's only spent $1 billion less. Just let that sink in. And he's already done that in 3 seasons, and we've got nothing out of it. We have got nothing to show for our efforts whatsoever. Bowley and Clearlake and whoever is in charge of this club now, the circus that rolls around Chelsea, has absolutely stripped every part and every single bit of what made it kind of beat and go. We have no identity. We are not recognisable whatsoever. We are just a name. It is a business to them. It is not a passion. It is not something they care about. It is a business. As long as they make money financially, who cares what happens on the pitch? We haven't even got a shirt sponsor. In the whole time Bowley's been in charge, we have gone for about 5 sleeve shirt sponsors, and we've had 1 shirt sponsor. 3 was a big, massive thing at the time, and obviously that went to pot, and there was kind of big things over that, and then it was the case of having it where we had Infinite Athlete last season, but only midway point, because obviously we didn't have one to start off with, and then we doesn't even look like we're going to get one this year. So even big companies like Nike that sponsor us and have massive kit deals are even thinking about pulling away, for the simple fact is they have nothing sponsoring the side. We don't have a sponsor. How can Chelsea Football Club not have a sponsor? Yes, the kits look good. Yes, it looks better. But financially, it's poor. I just don't understand the jump from being one of the most successful teams in Europe to being one of the biggest laughingstocks in Europe. And that's what we've kind of nailed ourselves down to, and that's where we are at this moment in time. We are a laughing stock. I don't want to swear because I could go into so many words of what I could describe us down, but we are rubbish. Anyone can come to Stamford Bridge and win. We can go away and get battered. We've got Villa on the weekend. We're going to get smacked. There's no way we can compete with anyone at this moment in time. There's nothing that puts us in. It's like, oh, everyone says, oh, it could just be a blip. Let them in time. They've spent £1.32 billion and we still need improvement. We still need a goalkeeper. We still need a striker. We still need a defender. How can you spend that much money in a short amount of time and still require so much in your first 11? That doesn't make sense. Where's it gone? We've spent so much money on overpriced players. And I'm going to go into that in a minute in terms of the transfers, because there's so many players now. I could name 2 players, or potentially 3, if we're lucky, from what we'd actually get the money for. Because in realistic terms, none of them we'd get the money for. No way. And even some of them, it's very questionable. And they haven't had the best of seasons going forward. In my opinion, the best 2 signings that we've made over the time that went the Bowley era is Cole Palmer for 1 and Moises Caicedo for 2. You could potentially argue Enzo Fernandez and Marc Cucurella, because Cucurella's having an immense season this season. And last season he got better towards the end of it. But at the same time, I still feel we're very underwhelming as a squad. And I don't think you'd get 100 million for Enzo Fernandez again. So I'm not going to say it's one of the best signings we've made, because I don't think he's that good. And the thing that we have to look at, instead of just looking at stats and go, oh yeah, but Fernandez has made the most key passes. All right, well, where's that got us? Oh yeah, but Palmer's created the most chances. All right, okay. Let's just stop looking at stats. Let's look at where we are. I think that's the key thing we need to be at this moment in time. Let's stop looking at things that could have been or should have been or whatever it is, or oh, VAR was this, the referee was that. Liverpool aren't struggling with that. Arsenal aren't struggling with that. Nottingham Forest aren't struggling with that. But we are. We are the only side to have spent the money that we have, and 1, not win anything, and 2, not even be in the top 4. And the thing that I'm getting sick of as well is we think top 4 is an achievement. It was a requirement years ago. Finishing in the top 4 or being off the pace and not even competing for the title was a miserable season. Was a poor season. And if we didn't do anything off the back of that, then it was a write-off of season, and nothing could be said about it whatsoever. We as Chelsea fans have lowered our expectations and have got into this great big mindset of, we're in a process. Screw the process. We're Chelsea Football Club. When's it come a time where we're actually being able to kind of stand up for what there is and being able to kind of say, we are not good enough. Time for a change. Our own owner is a director of a ticket company that is reselling tickets for thousands of pounds, but they promote not to have ticket touting right out of the Stiffle and Broadway. How corrupt can you get? As a season ticket holders, we've spent an extra £100 this season. What have we got for it? Oh, we had a great start to the season, but now we've been utterly crap. And there's just no underlining it. There's no saying, oh, it's Enzo's first season. It's this, it's that, it's that. There's nothing. There shouldn't be any excuses. Years ago, when you had John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, Ashley Cole, players that Petr Cech, ones that cared, there wasn't an excuse. There's no one to bring this side together. Absolutely nobody. We have no leaders, no fight, no passion. If this lot were on commission, they'd start playing football. But because they know they're getting a paycheck week in, week out, they do not care. Bowley has made 36 signings over this time, and I could probably name 3 or 4 of them that are good enough. Malo Gusto, not good enough, cost us 26 million. Wes Fofana, 75 million, has spent more time on the injury list than he has on the first 11. Raheem Sterling, 47.5 million with a wage of 350 grand a week. Flop. Axel Disasi, 38 million. We've loaned him out to Villa. Benoit Baliashile, 35 million. Not good enough. Rob Sanchez, Brighton's 3rd goalkeeper, and has never been a proven goalkeeper, and is probably one of the worst we're ever going to see in a Chelsea shirt, 25 million. Mikhailo Mudryk, currently suspending for doping, 88 million. Kalidou Koulibaly, 1 season, 33 million. All these players that we've bought are rubbish. Absolute rubbish. David Fofana, 10 million, played one game for Chelsea. David Washington, 17 million, never started for Chelsea. Angelo Gabriel, 13 million, never started for Chelsea. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, played 3 or 4 games, 10 million. We have wasted our money on so much rubbish. When is the last time, as much as people like Palmer and ones like that have come off, when is the last time we have sat there as Chelsea fans and bought a proven player? Someone we know that's good. Not someone that could be good, not someone who might be good or whatever it is. And the thing that people have got to get out of their head at the same time is, oh, he might be good in a few seasons. Well, how do we know that? We don't know that. We're just basing it off what could be. Why is that? Why are we doing it what could be good? No, I want now. Why are we waiting for the if, buts and maybes when we realistically need to producing now? It's like when Maresca sits there. Oh yeah, well top 4 was never a goal, and we'll probably get it next season. Where's that mentality driven from? The top. Because they don't know what they're running. We've got a squad full of kids that have basically started well, have jumped ship and are basically now kind of gone to it where they're sinking and they don't know what to do with it. Maresca bottled a 30-point lead nearly last season. I'm not putting the full blame on him, but tactically he needs to accept responsibility. Bowley is completely stripped every single part of what this club meant. From top to bottom. I think there's only 1 or 2 people in the whole club that were still there under the Abramovich era. Let that sink in because they employ hundreds of people. It's beyond laughable. And if anyone can't see it, then you really need to give your head a wobble. Because we are absolutely failing as a club. And it's not a blip, it's not a process, it's nothing. It's only going to get worse. Do you think we're going to get top 4 this year? Because we're not. No way. We're going to go to Villa on Saturday and get spanked. And you can say, oh, but as fans, we need to support the side. Do you really think they want to play for Chelsea? When you sit there and they're walking back and they're arguing and they're laughing with other opponents, do you think they care? Do you think if we sung our hearts out for 90 minutes and showed our support that it would be any different to what we're seeing on the pitch? Because I don't. We are going just down further and further the pecking order. And we are getting laughed at, but game by game, week by week. We're always in pundits' mouths and we always has been, but we're only in them for the bad light. How can we go from the start of December from being potentially going at Christmas to being top of the league to being in the position that we're currently in? It's not right. Everything that they have done and put in place is not right. We are nothing like we were. We are living in the past. And that's what we have to accept as Chelsea fans. And if we can't see it now and try and make a change, then I feel like we're only going to get worse. It's like the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. It's woeful. Because they've hiked ticket prices up so much. People can't get tickets. People that want to go to games can't get tickets. But tourists that will pay thousands for a ticket or however much for a ticket because they want to see their favourite player and they want to buy half the megastore. That's what they want. As I mentioned, as long as money is in their back pocket, that is all they care about. We are changing, and if we don't do something about it now as fans, we will never be in the position that we were previously. We will be living in the past. Don't get me wrong, I've seen it all. I've seen us win it all. But I want to see us do it again. And I want to keep seeing us doing it season after season after season. Just like the top clubs do. Just like Man City have done for X amount of seasons. Just like Liverpool have done for X amount of seasons. We're not going to sit there and go, oh, we've won it all now. That's it. We've had our fun. That's not the case. We need to be competing. And we're not. And something needs to change. Whether the fans make a stand or somebody else does. Because there's things that are going on in this club right now that stink. From top to bottom. We have gone through God knows how many managers to be in the position while we've hired Enzo Maresca. We have gone through so many players that were good and we've just sold them off. So many young talents, so many people that wanted to play for Chelsea. And that's where we're really, really dropping. So I hope that's given an insight to some people that didn't realise the actual clown and circus that we've currently got on at Chelsea Football Club, because it is absolutely shambolic. And I hope for change. And I'll be there every week. And I'll try and support them. But what can you do when we're getting performances like we are? There's nothing that we can do in terms of that. Only voice our opinion. Only stand outside the grounds and bring out a protest. And people can say, oh, well, you're being a bit much. There's other clubs that have been in worse situations. And that's fine. I understand that. But at the same time, what are we supposed to sit there and just pay our money as fans and just hope it comes good at one point and just get walked over? Because I'm not. That's for sure. 100%. And social media is kind of showing that now. And people are fed up and sick of it. I think if we didn't spend as much money as what we did, then I don't think there'd be so much for an argument for it. But because we spent so much money on a load of rubbish and still need to improve, and when I said you still need a goalkeeper, you still need a striker, you still need a midfielder, you still need a defender, still need a leader, you still need experience, then it realistically just makes you laugh and it just makes you think. But if anyone's got their opinion, please put it in the comments, because I'd love to hear what different people have got to say about this, because I think it's a big matter going on at the club at the moment, and the more interaction, the better at this moment. No one's opinion's wrong, because everyone's got their own opinion at the end of the day, and I feel that's always valid, and because that's how football works. Everyone's different in that way. People can agree on things, but people can be different. But yeah, I just wanted to give my insight, because I think we are just going down big time, and I think now obviously we're 6th in the table, but I feel like we're just going to get worse. I really do feel like it's going to get worse, but time will tell. Time will tell, that's for sure. I'll have a preview for Villa out on Friday, hopefully. I hope. If not, it will just be a straight review on the Saturday. Just due to other commitments at the moment in time. I'm really struggling to be able to release some videos, but I will try my best, that's for sure. But yeah, that'll be it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe for more content. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.